welcome to the Gen X Glam and Gab channel here on YouTube. It is great to see everyone, whether you're new, whether you're coming back. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Mom in her basement, doing a little bit of glam, doing a little bit of gab, and this video is one of several videos that I have pre-filmed for my summer pack with me / declutter series. I am getting ready for an international move in real time. It's still very much looming, but you'll watch this video in the summer after hopefully we are all chilling, we're sipping some iced tea, hanging out with family, going to cookouts, and just enjoying a nice summer. I'm there. I'm like mentally I am already there, but physically I am here preparing for this move. I've just filmed my pack up my Guerlain with me video. So I have a really nice base of Guerlain skincare going on that I was thinking would be great. Let's not waste this base of skincare. Let's use some of the brushes that we're gonna pack up in this video. So yes, we're gonna focus on packing up my brushes. I'm looking at about, I did a little head count. I'm such a nerd. Close to 150 here, but some of them are really tiny, tiny. This counts though. This one counts as much as this one does. So anyway, let's pack up some brushes. I'm gonna put the brushes in here that I'm gonna bring with me on summer vacation and ultimately on the airplane to my final destination. And the other brushes that I pack up are actually, we're just we're making cuts right now. It's like a schoolyard pick for brushes. Who's gonna get to come with for the summer and to hang out right away on the exciting other end when we make it to Sweden? And which ones are going on the boat, the slow boat to Europe? It's gonna be tough. It is gonna be tough, although I know that I can actually pack a lot of brushes in here because this is the brush container I used last summer to pack up my brushes. I'm also gonna do, hopefully I have time if I can just stay on track, I am going to do a quick little how do I clean my brushes, check out my tools part of the video. All right, so let's start with this brush roll set that I got when I went to beauty school in November. Going to beauty school, it was a 3-day, 21-hour immersion course that I treated myself to for my birthday. My birthday month was October Palooza, and I was uploading a video every single day and asking a question of the day, and it was so much fun. I was giving away giveaways every week. It was so much fun. And I treated myself to beauty school in November. There is the brush, here is the brush roll that came with it. And one of the first things we did at beauty school, first day, was we went through the lovely kit that I had. It came with makeup and it came with the brush set. This is I think this is a decent brush set. Teacher said if you take care of your brushes, meaning clean them after every use, they will last you a long time. And the brushes that she had, she had said she won as not one, but she was given as a gift at some expo somewhere, I don't know where. And she had she had taken such good care of them, and they already started off with being, high enough quality that if she took care of them, they would last her 15 years. I was completely amazed. All right, so I'm gonna use some of these, since that's all really nice out in the brush roll. Let's look at some of the standard brushes that I can say I can match up to and then make my cuts. Teacher said when we went over this, she's like, do not freak out. We're not going to be using all these brushes. I'll tell you what each one of them does, but for the most part, we're only going to be using, a handful of these. So let's start with an easy one. This is just a nice all over fluffy face brush you can use to really smooth out edges if you're feeling like you did something a little bit too sharp. This is so big. When I do this like a fan, I am actually generating a little bit of wind, of air, and I'm cooling myself down. Huge all over the face brush. And I have several of them, here's one here, but this is kind of more flat. I would say this is more of I would use this more to smooth out some of my bronzer, but here's a nice example. This is a nice P. Louise, big, fluffy, all over the face brush when you just want to go through at the end and just get all of your smoothness going on. So, for a fluffy brush to bring this summer, this P. Louise one is going to do me just as good as any of the other ones. This brush right here, this is another sort of fluffy brush from e.l.f. My fluffy brushes. How do I want to show these things off? Just so you can get a sense of, this one's drying over here. This one's actually, you've got a fluffy brush on one end and a more like stampy on the other. That one is still drying. So I have some fluffy brushes here. This is my P. Louise sort of fluffy bronzer brush, but you get the picture. So you've got your fluffy brushes. None of these fluffy brushes are going to come with me. It's just going to be the P. Louise one, and I will take probably both of my e.l.f. This is like fluffy brush on one side, mostly for blush, and then this one can handle like liquid. All right, so let's go in with this next. This is a nice angled brush, which you could use for your bronzer or contouring. I have a ton of angled brushes. Where are like my angled brushes? These are, and this one I put in as like a smaller version, but it's angled. It would be great for getting up there in the crease. But all of these are angled brushes from various different, you know, a lot of my brushes are P. Louise. A lot of them I just picked up. A lot of them are e.l.f. This is an e.l.f. angled brush. Another P. Louise angled brush. I don't think I'm going to put that one in my thing. This one is a contouring brush, but I like to think it like hits the angles. I love this thing. I'll use it on my lids. It's super, super dense. I'll use it to like, it's technically an e.l.f. contouring brush. I'll use it to get up into there. I'll even use it on my jawline to make sure I got like a good blend, because I tend to use a lot of my creamy sculpting sticks. This is one of my favorite brushes. I just did a repurchase because it's a little loosey-goosey. And when we talk about washing brushes, I can tell you how it got there. Even though I try to be careful, I still probably get too much water on the base of these things where the glue is, and you know, and that compromises the integrity. This is another P. Louise brush similar to that one, just very nice, like good density. And I feel like it can really smooth out, you know, concealer or even foundation that I've put, or my sculpting putty, like in all of these areas. You can really like push and smooth with it. That is coming with as well. But these are all various forms of angled brushes. I kind of have this one I got at just like TJ Maxx or whatever. The brand is Japan Sku. And I realize this is like kind of like one of my favorite everyday angled brushes. So I'm going to bring that. So all of these angled brushes are not going to make the cut. They're not going to make the cut. All right, let's go into, this is a foundation brush. This is what teacher wanted me to use for foundation brush, but there are other forms of foundation brushes that you can use. Where's my, so let's look at this head. This is a dual, I love this brush from Charlotte Tilbury. It's got like a nice density, a little bit of an angle underneath the eye concealer, and then this side for your foundation. And I have it in a little mini foundation brush. Really, really like this. So these Charlotte Tilburys are coming with me, but they have to stay out because I'm going to be using them. I'm going to be using them up until I leave. So I'll just keep washing them. This brush here, nice little flat brush. I would use this, something like this, to set powder underneath my eyes. That's what I would use this for. And I do have a fair amount of brushes like I consider that for. Like these are e.l.f. brushes just for powder like setting in these areas. You could even probably use this as like to put on highlighter if you were going with highlighter. This is my absolute favorite. It's from P. Louise. This is my favorite brush to set powders in these like delicate like contour areas. This is just staying out at my station. Probably all of these will stay out at my station, and I'll like wash and keep using them. This one, this is kind of like nice. It's not oversized on, and e.l.f. calls this their putty bronzer. So it does have like a slight angle to it. You know, if you've used the e.l.f. putty blushes and bronzers, this would be really nice for it's fluffy enough where it could smooth out edges, but it's dense enough where you could stamp. I could see how you could stamp some putty product in on that. So next, I'm going back. This one here, it's like dense, flat. This would be, I think, what many would consider like a concealer concealer brush. I tend to use my NARS pot concealer often and my NARS under eye brightening cream, and you know, it comes in the pot like this. I've got one on standby, not to worry. This one's almost gone, but I like to use these flat brushes to dip into pots like that and just kind of like help like lay it down, because I'll often come in with the warmth of my fingers to kind of like spread out, or a wedge sponge to like really get in to those areas. So putting this one back in, but like when I say I have a fair amount of these kinds, I kind of do. Like I would say in my hand here are all versions of, you know, just at different lengths, what, you know, these flat ended sort of brushes that I like to use in these really delicate areas of my face, my lids, to prep my lids. If I'm going to use a matte concealer to prep my lids, these are all sort of like that, like all that vibe. And I go through these a lot. I love this one from e.l.f. This was their, like, I don't know, this was their Scooby-Doo collection. And no, it was their piece. It's got a peace sign on it, but it reminds me of Scooby-Doo. This one is one of my favorite brushes for that. So, you know, let's pick out a few for the summer to go in the summer bag, and then a few to just sort of leave out. By the way, like my school kit brushes, I don't really use a lot on the regular. I need to keep a few out. This is a nice P. Louise one, a little bit longer, like the one that I got in my school kit, but it still gives you that flat density where you can really just kind of get into these areas and do some more precision work. Whether it's maybe you're working on your crease cut, maybe you're working, you know, like mostly like I say, I use them to pat in my foundation. This is a nice, I don't know how this one made it in there, but this is a Too Faced brush. This is more of like a smudgy brush, or you could get like really on the insides, because it's got it's like a dome. It's got that density, but yet it's fluffy enough. I really like this brush. Every once in a while I'll pull for it. I'll just be like, I got something right there, and it's got the point and it gets in there. So let's take that with for the summer. So you don't see me, I'm putting basically these things. I have all kinds of like brush holders going on here. Most of these I've picked up at like a TJ Maxx or a Marshall's. I love this one. It spins around and it has little hearts on it. But like here's, I don't know, did we look at, I talked about the foundation brush, but then I didn't show you kind of what I have. Oh, because I got distracted by my Charlotte Tilbury foundation brushes. But I mean, I have a few more like this. I have one that's drying over here from e.l.f. These are just all really nice. You can like literally, like these are like the brushes that remind me of your quintessential face brush, you know. But for me, like just putting on my concealer with the brushes and like that's it. Like I don't feel satisfied with the blend. I'm using brushes, I'm using my fingers, I'm using beauty blenders. You saw me pull out, I like to keep the wedges. This is an oversized one that I'm trying to just use because I'm trying to use what I have out and not open anything new. I'm not a big fan of the oversized one, but I pulled this out because I'm packing and I found it. It came in a Sephora Faves. This is like an OG beauty blender sponge from the brand Beauty Blender, I guess, the kickoff. And it's like, it sells it I got it in Sephora Faves, but it sells at Sephora. These are like 20 some plus dollars. Who pays that for just like one sponge? But anyway, so I was trying to demonstrate, this is a Juvia's Place sort of huge foundation brush. I like this. It's got a little bit of an angle to it. So like, I don't think I've ever used it as a foundation brush. I think I've kind of used it as an all over, like smooth all the edges out brush. This is from the brand Purr. This is a foundation brush. It came in a bundle, but you can see how you could just stamp and blend. It's very similar to like, you know, the head tip of the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood complexion. So these are gonna all go into storage. Like I honestly don't use, this one's still drying. So when that dries, I'll just keep it out. But these will go into storage because I want to say I love this brush from Quo. I don't own many brushes from Quo, but it was like a special at Shoppers Drug Mart, so I got it. This is going to come on vacation with me. You see, it's like at the flat end for the kid, you know, for the foundation, and then it has this nice flat end for the concealer. Like if I'm just like, I'm going on vacation within vacation, like I'm busting away for a few days and I could, you know, and I need to pack a small bag, I'll bring a brush like this because it's like one and done. That brush combined with this brush, this is probably my favorite brush, and I got this from Ipsy. I did it at Ipsy add-on. I've never seen it again. Trace Loose. In fact, maybe I should go like look for one of these. I just love it because you've got this fluffy end here that you could do blush with, you could do highlighter, you could do one of these numbers to like completely spread out, you know, your lids. And then this right in there, it just really sets, like imagine I'm using setting powder in all of these delicate places. I just love this brush. So honestly, like between these two brushes, I would almost like, I could just get by. I could do what I need to do because I'm, you know, I'm not that complicated anyway when I do my makeup. Here's another one that's, I love some of these double-ended brushes. I guess I'm skipping around now. This one you could do your foundation with, and then again, you could go in and you could get, you know, you could do all of your, you know, your spot concealing with this sort of dense, delicate, dense, not delicate, but just dense little tip. You know, you can really get into some of these places and really get the blend going. This is definitely coming with me for summer vacation. Cream and powder brush. So this side is dense enough where you could do, if I've never used a cream with this side, I like to like really like smooth out patches with this side, and then you've got your all over like fluffy brush. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the summer brush bag. Here's another, this, I don't even know where I got this from. Be Off. It might have been another Ipsy add-on, but I really like it because I've got the end that I can use as, you know, powder, to setting powder or blush, and then I've got this sort of dense little detailed end where I can blend in my concealers. All right, this one's coming with me too, but I'm gonna keep it out because I want to keep using it. Couple other double-ended brushes. This is from the Lip Bar. This is an eye brush. I really like it. That's gonna come with. And this is the e.l.f. nose contour brush. Sorry, all this, like, I've got some itches. This is the nose contour brush from e.l.f. So you've got, you know, your really like sleek, you know, where you would draw down, you'd put your, you know, I usually drag it. Like if I'm going to do my nose contour, I'll start up here, I'll go down with the product all the way around, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. And then you've got your fluffy brush here. Like you want to come down the middle of your nose and blend out like a lighter color when you're going for that contour. I love this brush. I'm going to keep it. I'm keeping them all. I'm going to keep it. And look at, we still have plenty of room. I'm doing great. What's next? Let's look at, okay, do we go back to my kit here? Oh, good. I haven't lost any brushes yet. Let's look at some of these eyeshadow brushes, right? Like there's all kinds of different fluffy eyeshadow brushes out there. Some that have a little bit of an angle to them so you can get in your crease. Some that just, you know, are fluffy enough where you can do one of these numbers. Some precision enough to like, this one maybe like one that you would be packing on and maybe blending out with a fluffier version of those. And so I have just a ton of these kind of fluffy brushes that some have angles, some don't, that are all, you know, all going into the lids. So let's see, a fair amount of these are P. Louise. This is a really nice one. I tend to like the oversized fluffy brushes because I don't do a lot of precision work on my lids. I do a lot of smoothing out work on my lids. So I really like those. Like this little, you know, packing it on brush. Yeah, you got to get the stuff on there. It's true. But I just like a much, I don't know, fluffier look in the sense, I guess, if that makes any sense. This is great. I love this. Is like totally oversized. Really gets in there and spreads it all out and makes a big old mess. That one's going to come with, this is a nice e.l.f. fluffy one. That's going to come with, you really can, this P. Louise one's so nice. Oh, now I'm having some, this nice P. Louise one because it's got an angle. Some e.l.f. like this is from e.l.f.'s Cookies and Cream. collection, and this is again like their, you know, give peace a chance sort of psychedelic. Yeah, I have to stop myself. There's so like there's even more that I didn't pick up. Let's move on to my bullet brushes. I'm not sure what the proper name for these are, but they remind me of bullets. These are a couple e.l.f. ones, and these are just other brands. I don't know what you're supposed to use these for. I honestly don't, but I tend to use them underneath my eyes and like right in there as like down my nose contour area and in my lip contour area to set powder, to like setting powder in these sort of delicate spaces. That's what I use them for. I really like them. I'm going to take these two e.l.f. ones with and put the others back. A ton of angled contour bronzer blushes. These are all, did I already talk about my angle? I think we did. Did I set any aside? These are like a lot. Yes, we put my favorite one in there. That's like a no-namer. This is a really nice P. Louise one. Oh, you can really get some, you can get the job done with these angles. The angled brushes are some of my favorite brushes. All right, let's see. Oh, the e.l.f. cannot, they have their own little category here in my heart, the e.l.f. putty bronzer brushes, because you can dig out your product with this end, and you could even, you know, dig out your product, smooth it with a sponge, and then and then you can go in. Really, really like the putty brushes. Let's throw a couple of those in the bag. These we looked at. These I said I'm keeping all of these out because I will use them. These for me are just so multi-purpose, that kind of head. Let's not forget the blush brushes. I guess I saved the easy ones. I saved the easy ones, but look at like how it has like comes to a nice like sort of beautiful point. Here's another one. These I would consider all of these like fluffy blush brushes. These right here maybe be more like, you know, they're a little bit more refined, and they would be maybe make like a nice like highlighter blush if you're into that. So in terms of these, what are my faves? P. Louise, and I like this one. This is a no brand one, but I really just like the tip of it, and I like its fluffiness. Is that it? Did we, yeah, we covered, I mean, so, you know, like teacher said, she's right. You need some, if you're going to be using the brushes, get yourself a brush that, you know, is dense enough and yet, and like light enough to blend out your foundation if you want. You get your concealer brush, you know, with the flat head to just really like press stuff in and diffuse it out. You've got your angled brush to do your contouring. You've got, you know, your blush brush, which really, blush brush, you can make any brush work for blush. Your oversized fluffy brush to like really smooth out those products that got a little bit patchy on you. A gazillion different eye brushes, you know, flat and fluffy to work your eye, you know, to work your lid look. I didn't get into the weeds on some of these other brushes in my kit, like this little angled brush right here. I believe that this is like, this could be like a brow brush if you were dipping into like a pot, like a brow pot product. This right here, like, is a lip brush, but now I have to clean that because I do have something on my lips. Gotta set that aside. I'm not so good with the lip brushes, but I mean, I think that you get the drift, and look, I still have space in there because I will continue to add. All right, with what little time we have left, let's look at quickly my cleaning process. So teacher taught me for brushes that we're using mostly powder with, you can use 70% alcohol solution. I got this from Amazon. Put it in a spray bottle. Do I have a napkin around here? I don't, but they're over there and I can't reach for them. So the powdery brushes, let's just take one as an example. Let's say we used this one. You would do your spraying, just a little bit of a spraying. You have your paper towel and you blot it until it, you know, until it's, you can't see anything. This is already a clean brush. And then you lay it out to dry, like you lay them flat to dry. So that's one way to do it. If you've got, you know, more liquidy, gunkier stuff, what I like to use is this e.l.f. This is let's see what I'll tell you the proper name that they call it. It is their solid brush and sponge cleaner. I clean my beauty blenders with this. You get your brush wet, you get it all lathered up on here. And then I've got the little cups, silicone, suction cups that sits in the bottom of your sink so you can get your sink dirty. And then you can really just, where's that brush that I just, you can look at a brush like this. I'm going in on these ridges. I mean, this is just such a fun mat. And these are cheap. You can get these for a couple of bucks anywhere. And you just, blend it out from you get your brush wet, you go into the soap, scrub until you notice that it's coming up clean. And like a bigger brush, I usually give like a ring, do a ring out and maybe go like that on like a paper towel. And then I put it in a cup to dry. What else do I have in here? This e.l.f. has 2 versions, and this is their one. I think they discontinued this, has charcoal infused, and I really like it. This is their newer one. They're calling it the Clean Queen Solid Brush and Sponge Cleaner. But so it's, it's clearly different. I need to write e.l.f. and ask them if they're going to bring this one back, because I prefer this one over this one. And gotta love this, like travel friendly. You just put the top on. This is an e.l.f. brush shampoo, so it's got like the consistency of a shampoo. Let me just for more, see, like that is just like no scent really. And I noticed on e.l.f.'s website, and I did buy it so I can talk about it maybe before I leave, because I'm going to test it out. e.l.f. has dropped a new brush cleaner, like in a bottle like this. All right. Oh, how did I forget? Oh, let's end with something super cute. Look at this. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. Let me end with my Charlotte Tilbury collection. They're all off to the side here, and you've already seen a few of them. So I have the Hollywood Complexion brush here with the concealer brush on this end in the mini. This came in imagine I'm just blending out concealer. I was actually going to put on makeup, but look at all of this time I've spent talking about brushes. And if I would have been putting makeup on too, you'll just have to forgive me. And I think it was a little bit easier to sort of demonstrate at least what I use my various brushes for without actually having makeup on them. I don't know. It's just me. Weigh in the comments. This is the big bronzer and a blusher. So yes, you can use this to get, big. This is like a nice version of a fluffy brush, bronzer brush. Love this brush right here. This is the powder and sculpting brush. Oh, yes, imagine I'm just putting on a lovely shade. This brush was free. This brush was free because I went on Charlotte Tilbury's website and I took a brush quiz and I got this free in the mail. This is like her fluffy eyeshadow brush. I mean, come on, free. This wasn't free. This you can't buy anymore, but I saw it come up and it was like on sale, and it's a mini version. So I'm thinking, oh dear, dropping stuff. I'm thinking this is a mini of this is what I'm thinking. I know that this is a mini of that. And let's see, this one here is probably, I'm thinking is a mini of the fluffy eyeshadow brush. And then it came with some smudger brushes, which I've never actually used any of these, but this is like little mini smudgers. All right. I guess that's it for me. I guess I'm going to sign off now, because what I want to do is, I think I will put on a little bit of makeup, and I want to declutter my board games. So that should be fun. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, thanks for spending some time with me, hanging out with me. I don't know. I hope you found this decluttering, packing up my brushes video fun. And as always, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're well. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.